Dear all, this video discusses about point sources and arrays. So point sources are sources which are physically very big, but depending upon the point from which it is viewed, it looks like a point in space. So basically when you consider point sources, it is considered that it is isotropic in nature. So if you consider the pattern of any antenna, it can be regarded as produced by an array of point sources. So the waves originate from the point source. If you consider at the center of the antenna as a point source, it will emanate equally in all directions. So for example, consider a stone is thrown into a pond. So when it is thrown, it creates ripples equally in all directions. So if you consider the same way, a point source at the center, it will radiate equally in all directions, emanating power equally in all directions. Now if you consider the antenna to be placed at the center, so one method of measuring the radiation pattern is by measuring the antenna has been placed over here, and this is the observation circle. By moving this point Q, the pattern can be measured, or else the antenna can be rotated and then it can be measured. So here when you consider the center O of the antenna coincide with the center of the observation circle. So if the center of the antenna is displaced from O, even to the extent that O lies outside the antenna, the distance d between the two centers will have a negligible effect on the field patterns at the observation circle, provided r is very much greater than d, r is very much greater than b, and r is very much greater than lambda. However, the phase pattern will generally differ depending on d. So if d is equal to 0, phase shift will be minimum, and if d is increased, phase shift will become larger. So here also the different components will be E theta, E phi, and the phase difference delta. Now in order to find out the power pattern, so power pattern can be found out by considering again the antenna being placed in the Cartesian coordinate system. So the only component when you consider the far field will be the radial component, that is pointing vector, which is represented as S, and as it is the radial component, it can be written as SR. So this is similar to how the beam area of the antenna has been found. The same kind of representation will can be done for point sources also. So here it is considered as isotropic source which radiates uniformly in all directions. So a graph of SR at a constant radius as a function of angle will be the pointing vector. So when you consider a graph of SR, so this is also known as this is a pointing vector, and it is also known as the power pattern. So basically, and this will be equal in SR will be the same in all, the component will be the same. Now this is for isotropic source, but generally when you consider the sources will not be radiating equally in all directions, it will have directional properties, that is they radiate more energy in some direction than in others. So such a source is known as anisotropic source, which radiates more in one direction. So if you writing the power pattern, so we can consider SRM as the maximum value of SR. So if SR is expressed in watts per square meter, the graph is known as absolute power pattern. And if the graph is expressed in terms of its value in some particular reference direction, then the graph is termed as a relative power pattern. So it is usually the reference direction will be taken in such a way that SR is maximum. So SR by SRM will give you the relative power, and if the maximum power is unity, then it represents normalized pattern. So if the maximum is unity, then the pattern with maximum of unity is known as normalized pattern. Also, the graphs are shown here for relative power pattern and the absolute power pattern. So next is power theorem and its applications to an isotropic antenna. So when you consider isotropic antenna, it radiates equally in all directions. So it's like a sphere. So the total power radiated, if you know the Poynting vector, so the total power radiated can be found out by integrating over the surface of the sphere of the radial component SR of the average Poynting vector. So the power theorem states that the total power radiated by the source is the integral over the surface of the sphere of the radial component SR of the average Poynting vector. So, as we are considering surface integral of the Poynting vector, the general formula will be P is equal to surface integral of S into ds, where S is the radial component. Only the component available here is radial component, so which can be written as SR into ds. Here P is the power radiated, SR is the radial component of average Poynting vector, ds is the infinitesimal element of area of sphere, which is given by the formula r square sine theta d theta d phi. Now if you consider isotropic source, this SR is independent of theta and phi. So here also the total area, if you consider, that will be equal to 4 pi r square. So SR into surface integral ds can be written as SR into 4 pi r square in watts. So Poynting vector SR is equal to P divided by 4 pi r square. Now radiation intensity, what is known as watts per solid angle, also represented by U. So from this equation, R square into SR can be written as P by 4 pi. So which is the definition of radiation intensity, that is watts per unit solid angle. So P by 4 pi is equal to radiation intensity, or else radiation intensity is also equal to R square into the average Poynting vector. Now if you are considering the same power theorem in terms of radiation intensity, it can be restated as it's the total power radiated given by the integral of the radiation intensity over a solid angle of 4 pi steradians. So for isotropic source, we can write the power radiated as 4 pi U naught, where U naught is the radiation intensity of isotropic source. Now with this formulas, directivity can be found out for any kind of pattern. For example, considering directivity for intensity pattern of unidirectional cosine pattern. So unidirectional means only in one direction the pattern is there. So let the general equation be U equal to UM cos theta. So the total power radiated can be written as double integral of U into d omega. And the general variation of theta and phi is from 0 to pi and 0 to 2 pi. So as it is unidirectional, here we have to consider 0 to pi by 2 into U is given as UM cos theta and d omega is equal to sine theta d theta d phi. So now here we can find the integral using substitution method, that is substitute s equal to cos theta. So dx, if you find out, it will be equal to, differentiating this equation, this becomes minus sine theta into d theta. Also we have to change the integrals, that is instead of 0 to pi by 2, so theta equal to 0 means x, if you are finding out x is equal to cos 0, so that will be equal to 1, and theta equal to pi by 2, so if you are finding out cos pi by 2, that will be equal to 0. So applying the integrals and substituting for cos theta, that is cos theta equal to x and d theta is equal to, that is sine theta d theta equal to minus dx. So this is substituted, and if you change the interval, that is from 0 to 1, in order to remove this minus 1, so final answer will be pi into um. Now the isotropic source power is given by 4 pi U naught, So equating both the powers, this is the general method of solving any problem. Equating both the powers, we can write it as pi um equal to 4 pi u naught, and directivity is defined as maximum radiation intensity divided by average intensity. So if we take the ratio of um by u naught, that will be equal to 4. So this is the directivity. Now same problem, if it has to be solved for bidirectional, so theta has to vary from 0 to pi. So 0 to pi can be, as per the formula, can be written as 2 times 0 to pi by 2. So 0 to pi by 2 has been already found out. Integral was 1 by 2. So the answer will be 2 pi um. So again substitute it equal to 4 pi u naught. So d will be equal to um by u naught equal to 2. So do share, like and subscribe to the channel for latest updates.